time do you guys spend with your parents? I used to think that I barely spent any time with mine. My dad is always busy helping his patients and going on business trips. It felt like he loved his work more than he loved me. His absence was like a mosquito bite, always itching whenever he wasn't around. That bite would itch at my band performances. When I looked into the crowd, and my eyes would meet no one's. I would just see strangers. And I really wanted to see him at his band performances, because I was proud of what I was able to accomplish. One time, I became first chair at my instrument. It was something I was proud of because I didn't believe I could do it before. But who would I see in the audience? Strangers, not my dad. But I also saw other parents who showed up to every single performance. Those parents served us food, arranged our uniforms, even carried the huge amps up and down the stairs. They were with us for multiple hours at a time. And my parents couldn't even show up to watch the performance. Those parents were helping kids who weren't theirs and their own kids. But mine weren't there. I started to expect for my parents to do the same. But that's unrealistic. One time, my dad had to take me to a sports practice, and we ended up getting lost. I did not make it there that day. Nowadays, it's my grandparents who take me everywhere. To clubs, to extracurriculars, to sports practices, or a car full of kids in their neighborhood. In fact, it's my grandparents who I spend the most amount of time with. And I'm really grateful for that. Part of what helped me get over this expectation of what parents should truly be like was at camp. I got exposed to what my dad's career was like. I learned about patient care, surgery, and all the demands of his job. That exposure led me to reflect. I reflected that my dad had always been there for me when I needed him the most. When I was 10 years old, I fell on a brick, face first. My gums had much cuts and so did my face. But guess who was there? My dad. It was my dad who held me close. It was my dad who applied ointments to my cuts. And it was my dad who took me to the dentist's office to get my stitches. In fact, it was my dad who even offered to help the dentist put the stitches in my mouth. My mouth was bloody and grimy, yet he offered to do it. It showed me how much he truly cared about me, reflecting on that experience. My dad also supported me when it came to my fears. One time, I had to stay at a camp overnight for 2 whole weeks. But he stayed with me as we prepared my room, and he didn't leave me to fend for himself. He wanted to help me, even though the camp didn't allow him to stay that long. My dad also supports me and shows me his culture. My dad was born in Sri Lanka and came to this country when he was 2 years old. I saw the exact house he grew up in, the city he was born in, and the culture, the food, the clothes. We also went around the city like tourists. We saw elephants, monkeys who stole my popsicle, and I walked to all the different sites. We even climbed to the top of Rock Sigiriya together. It was so high up, but he was with me throughout it all. My dad also supports me with tennis. When he was free, we would go drill in the courts at my school. And on weekends, we would drill some more, practice matches. It was like having my personal coach who was free. And on the weekend nights, he would take me to my matches against other kids who were 2 hours away, there and back. While I was sleeping, he was driving me there. He could have been relaxing after a long week of work, but instead he was supporting me. I learned how fortunate I was, because some parents don't even get to spend any time with their kids. Some parents are working in the military or serving in another country, and some people don't even have parents. I started to respect my dad and appreciate all he's given me. I started to be grateful, and I adjusted my expectations of what a parent should bring to the table. Because my dad always made the most of the time he was with me. Instead of counting the time you spend, you should make the time you spend count. Thank you.